want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. And I was sitting here thinking about the golden stool, and it all happened because of my mom. So I thought that I would read a little bit of the first chapter of the golden stool in honor of my mom, Lois Conley, the founder and executive director of the Griot Museum of Black History. Mom, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to experience the motherland in an incredible way. Thank you. I love you. And this is dedicated to you. I stepped off the plane in a cry. My heart pounded with a mix of excitement and jitters. I adjusted my backpack and joined the stream of passengers moving toward the customs office, each step resonating with the significance of this moment. I was in Africa. This was more than just a research trip for the griot. It was a journey into my heritage, a connection to my newly discovered Ashanti lineage. Welcome to Ghana. A cheerful customs officer greeted me with a warm smile as he stamped my passport. Thank you, I replied, my voice slightly shaky with emotion. I was in the place I'd read about and seen in countless pictures, a place that felt like a long lost part of me. As I exited the airport, the hot, humid air wrapped around me like a warm, wet embrace. It was starkly like the humidity in my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri, where my mother's museum, the Griot Museum of Black History, was located. I was in Accra to conduct research and gather artifacts for an upcoming exhibit. I scanned the crowd until I spotted a man holding a sign with my name on it. He was noticeable because he was wearing a tightly tailored, colorful dashiki made of striking purple African wax fabric, adorned with Adinkra symbols and gold embroidery. He was also tall, dark, and muscular, and impossibly handsome, with gorgeous, well kept locks that crowned his head perfectly, plump lips, hypnotic chocolate eyes, and a smile that would melt any human's heart. He couldn't help but stand out amidst the bustling crowd. His regal presence was magnetic, pulling flirty glances from passers-by. I giggled at the women gazing at him, wishing he was there for them. But no, he was my driver. Erica Golden, he asked in a deep baritone voice, his strong Ghanaian accent dancing through his words. That's me, I replied, extending my hand. You must be Justin. Indeed, he said, taking my hand in a firm, warm, buttery grip. Welcome home. Let's get you to your hotel. Tears welled up in my eyes. I was home. I was in Africa and I was at home. As we navigated the busy palm tree lined streets of Accra, filled with cars, merchants, motorcycles, bikes, goats, and chickens, Justin shared stories about the city, pointing out landmarks and weaving in bits of history. His passion for his culture was evident, and I found myself hanging on his every word. As we perused the lively streets of Accra, Justin's voice filled the car, wrapping around me like a comforting sense of belonging and pride. Profound peace and joy settled over me as my gaze swept across the vibrant spectrum of black and brown faces that seemed to paint the city in hues of unity. They filled the sidewalks, adorned billboards, and graced store signs and posters. It felt surreal, like stepping into a dream as I approached what promised to be one of the most unforgettable experiences of my life. It was amazing and an absolute joy to be in a place where, for the most part, the only people I saw were people who looked like me. Again, welcome to Accra, the heartbeat of Ghana, Justin declared, his tone radiating familiarity and passion. Ghana, I exhaled, peering out of the car window at the bustling cityscape. Except for the humidity, it's a world away from St. Louis. Justin chuckled softly. Our home is magnificent. Across spars along the cliffs, overlooking the Gulfs of Guinea. And be prepared for earthquakes. They're common here, he teased, with an enticing smirk as he peeked at me through the rearview mirror. Well, luckily, I have a knack for sensing them before they strike, so I'll be on alert, I replied. Feeling earthquakes. That's quite a unique gift, Justin said as he continued to delve into Accra's history. I shifted the conversation. And the name Accra, it originates from Incan, meaning black ants in Akan, right? I asked. Correct. Now it pulsates at the center of activity in Ghana, Justin remarked, gesturing toward the dynamic cityscape. It's a lot to take in, I confessed, feeling a mix of exhilaration and awe and impressed with Justin's depth of knowledge. He knew who he was. He knew his country, was incredibly proud of it, and eager to share. His accent made it even more engaging. Sometimes I didn't even know what he was saying. I just enjoyed hearing him speak, especially when he said my name, Arika. But that's the essence of the journey, Justin reassured me. Accra's essence lies in its people and their stories. Brace yourself for an extraordinary adventure, Arika. Another time, I would be offended if a stranger called me by my first name. But Lord have mercy, when my name pranced off Justin's lips, draped with his thick accent, he could have called me anything. I didn't care. I just loved the sound of his voice. It seemed to race through my entire being. He literally could say my name like nobody ever had. Erica. And I loved it. I nodded, feeling an intense connection to this place, excited to immerse myself in its rich history and contribute my own chapter to the intriguing tapestry of Accra. I asked Justin about posters and billboards with people's photos and dates. They were like obituary covers that we prepare in the United States. He told me that was how the community honored people when they became ancestors. We do that for everyone. If you have enough money, you can get a billboard. But every time someone dies, we put their pictures up so the community can celebrate their lives, he explained. It reminded me of the tradition Black people in the States have of collecting obituaries at funerals to share with people who didn't attend. I had so many questions as we drove, and Justin had answers to them all. I almost asked Justin about the slave trade, but decided not to. In these moments, I just wanted to wallow in the splendor and joy of being home and listen to Justin share. That's Independence Arch, Justin said, pointing to the imposing structure as we passed by Black Star Square. It's a symbol of Ghana's freedom from colonial rule. It's striking. It reminds me of the Gateway Arch at home, I said, snapping a quick photo. I can't wait to learn more. We drove past colorful markets, vendors selling everything from vibrant African cloths to peanuts, fried chicken, bread, water, fresh mangoes, pineapples, and coconuts. I was particularly struck by the women selling peanuts who had meticulously stacked them in pyramids and balanced them on their heads. It was amazing how they could walk with them and not one of them fall, not even the ones they removed once they were sold. I was also inspired by how extraordinary we, Africans, and their descendants are as a people. I loved the drive. African art was everywhere. Graffiti of African life and culture decorated bridges, underpasses, fences, and buildings. I was utterly captivated by Accra's energy and animation. Justin's car was filled with the sounds of African highlight music, swinging to the rhythmic chatter of people bargaining. I asked Justin who the artists were. On the playlist, I have people like the Tempos, Ebo Taylor, Nana Kwame, he shared. I see you pick up on the rhythms. I love it, I smiled. When we arrived at the hotel, I gasped like a child in Wonderland. I would stay there for a few days until my rental was available. As we entered the lobby, the extraordinary local art took my breath away. It was decorated with African sculptures, textiles, paintings, and reliefs. We headed to the front desk. Justin helped me check in and carried my bags to my room. My suite was spectacular, adorned with African motifs, kente cloths, paintings, and sculptures, and a breathtaking view of Accra. Do you need anything else? Justin asked, his gaze lingering on me for a moment longer than necessary. I smiled. No, this is perfect. Thank you, Justin, I replied, feeling a sudden flush. All right then, get some rest. I'll be back in the morning to take you to see more of the city and the university, he said, exchanging a gentle smile. After he left, I called my mom to reassure her that I had arrived safely. I ran down everything I'd seen, and naturally, I mentioned Justin. Her response was a gentle reminder of my purpose on this work trip, my recent engagement, and a curious warning about distractions. I assured her of my focus. I took a shower and retired to bed, filled with anticipation for the next day. So that was how it all started. I think I'll share a little bit from time to time. As you can see, I cannot replicate his Ghanaian voice, but trust me, it's really amazing. Or it's just the way I hear it. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the book when you get your copy. I'll do this again and maybe we can talk about it some more. Take care and thank you for joining the journey.